Hold on, Marcus, get back to do his big
I had to shut the window there.
Go ahead, man.
Marcus, how about a good old-fashioned sound check for the folks?
Check 1, 2. Checkmate King 2. This is White Robert.
We haven't had a good sound check in a while.
That brings back memories.
All right, I think I got it muted up here now. Okay, folks, are we ready here? Are we ready, folks? Sorry, my voice is cracking. I told you I'm not going to get rid of this Florida plague for probably until May. Okay, here we go. Hello and welcome into DroneNation for April 21st, 2025.
Right, you get the 3, 2, 1, and then you hit it.
Oh, wait a minute. I can do it over again.
All right, ready.
3, 2, 1, and welcome into DroneNation for April 21st, 2025. Even though my voice is cracking here. Tonight is an evening with John Flynn. If you haven't seen it yet, I posted his interview we did with him at the South Florida Drone Media, actually the day of flying. It's already live on DroneNation. You can check it out. The reviews are in. The reviews are very positive, whatever. We're getting a lot of good feedback on the interview, so we're going to dig a little deeper here. So, So let me get a couple things off the top of the list here. I want to send a happy birthday out to our friend Bill Ronayne from down there. Actually, he lives Port St. Lucie, right where we do the drone meetup here. So it's Bill's birthday. Good friend of many people in the community here. And of course, Bill, he runs or owns that Sticks bowling alley billiard parlor where we go to a lot. So happy birthday, Bill. And also, I would have said condolences out to Pope Francis, who passed away this morning at the age of 88. I know it was 7:30 back in time. I have no idea what time it was here, but condolences to Pope Francis. DeMarco's coming back in here. Hold on.
Shoot.
DeMarco had to leave for a second here.
Run.
DeMarco probably had to, call a baseball game or something. So I remarked before the show. We got the crew back for the first. Oh, DeMarco can't hear us or see us.
I can. Yeah, I can.
You can?
I'm all messed up here. The microphone's
messed up.
Jacked up.
So I was about to say, this is the first time you've had Ron, Marcus, and DeMarco on the same show together for about a month or whatever. So John, you're kind of come in for the reunion show tonight.
I know. I'm privileged to be here to witness this in person. So.
Yes.
Thank you for
we broke up the band for a little while, but we got it back together now. Now, of course, Marcus was cruising for a while, and DeMarco was coaching baseball last week, right?
Yeah.
And you have a big announcement too. Sammy did a monumental feat this weekend, right?
Yes. Our kid who is not really athletic at all got it together this year, and he had his first home run in his second year of coach pitch. But since then, he's hit 2 more. So
wow.
Ooh.
Look out.
Like a normal thing. I think
That's
like
cool. That is so
anymore.
cool.
That's
But
great.
no, he was so happy, and we were so happy for him because he came such a long way.
Yeah.
That's great.
It was brutal to watch him play, but now he's finally getting it. So I'm proud of him.
Good.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Good.
Take all the credit to it.
Congratulations.
Shell gets no credit for this at all.
She doesn't watch this show, so you can say that.
Well, she was gonna be a guest one week, but she had to go out of town with the week we did the glasses.
Yeah. Get her again.
Yeah, they'll have a new version coming out. So I mean, it's gonna be a great show tonight. Marcus, what's the latest with you?
I see Johnny's taking all the credit for Sammy's home run. Here in Idaho, sadly, my wife got very ill upon return. And, she was okay while we were in Florida. When she got home, boy, did she get sick. And she's still kind of recovering from that. She's 90% there. But as you know, Ron, that part that hangs on can almost be the worst.
Yeah.
So she's dealing with that. But other than that, I've been just trying to catch up on some editing. Ron, you're going to be proud of me, Ron. In fact, you don't know this, but you inspired that video that that I put out today, I was thinking about the Avata 2, and I ran across Ron's video where he shows how to update it. So I did a little update video of my own. Yeah, I needed to update the drone anyway, right?
Right.
So I thought, well, might as well throw the camera up and put that up today. And I'm kind of getting excited about flying that drone again. I have not flown the Avata 2 since last October. So
I'm probably in the same bucket. Maybe I flew it in early November, but it's been almost that long for me. And I need to watch your video because I thought I updated mine the other week, but I don't think I still think I have the, what do you call the geozones restrictions active in there. So I must have done something wrong. So I'm going to watch your video to see what I messed up on.
It's it's actually, it seems like it's going to be complicated, but once you do it, it's really pretty simple. So yeah, nothing to it.
Yeah. I may have to reach out to my guru and that stuff, Johnny Drone Flyer, but yeah, no,
Johnny is Mr. FPV now. As you and I saw, John, you commented on his picture that he posted today. I mean, he really is. We used to call him Johnny Drone Buyer. Now we call him, as you said, Johnny Drone Builder, right? I mean, that's it.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
So listen, we're going to run through a few stories here, and then we're going to kind of get into John's interview portion of the show, where we're going to ask him questions and about his drones and some of his settings and all that. But let's run through a couple stories real fast here. Now I got one here on. Let me get the little thing playing here. Turn this down now. I don't know.
We don't need the sound.
Tomorrow, Insta360 is releasing a new device, and they do a very good job of keeping it under wraps. It looks like it's their 360 camera, the X5, and it kind of looks almost exactly the same as the X4. This is Igor Bogdanovan from Twitter, and he's got the unboxing here. The case is exactly like the case on the X4. Again, worst kept secret in town here. How long this video is here? He's got all the doodads and whatnot. Now I have the X4 right here, and you can probably see that it looks very, very similar to this new one.
So let me ask you. I'm going to ask you the $6 million question, Ron. How much do you actually use it?
Not as much as I would hope, and the thing that holds me back is the editing process. You have to. It's a special word they use for the editing. You have to re-something all the video, and it really slows your work to a grinding halt. I mean, if you did it every day, you would probably do it real fast. But if you only do it once in a while, it really slows you down. But you get unique shots. But one of the advantages supposedly of this new one is that they have AI re-editing for you, so you don't have to spend hours, in the editing suite doing all that now. But that's, they all say that though, right? So take that with a grain of salt here.
John, do you use a 360 camera?
I do not. I'm Action 2. I'm way behind, but the Action 2 works fine for me.
I've reverted back to the Action 2 myself. Not voluntarily, but I did.
Tell a little bit of that story, Marcus.
Well, my Action 5, in fact, it was before we even got on the cruise ship, we were in Puerto Rico, and it went into, if it's on for more than a couple minutes, it goes into a boot loop where it will shut down and turn back on and shut down and turn back on. And the only way you can stop it is to pull the battery. So anyway, I started a ticket with DJI and I sent it in, and they just got it today, and it's still under warranty. So I suspect I'll have a new Action 5 coming my way before too long.
And you're almost the first person I know in the community that's kind of reported that. So I don't think that's a widespread issue, but it is an issue. And I fully expect them to take care of you, hopefully.
Yeah, to your point, Ron, those are the kind of problems that I used to have with GoPro. And it was the reason that I switched to DJI action cameras exclusively. So
you were not alone with the
GoPro.
You were not alone with the GoPro, though. Your story was the story of many people, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
for sure.
Here's the specifications. Of course, this is the worst kept secret ever, this camera. Here's the specifications comparing the X5 to the X4. And I'm not going to go down at all because I know not many people are interested in 360 cameras. But I'll answer the big questions for you. Everybody wants a 1-inch sensor. You're not getting a 1-inch sensor on this. Everybody wanted better low light performance. It looks like they are going to give you better low light performance. And everybody wanted removable lenses, because if you scratch these lenses, the camera is ruined. You might as well throw it out or whatever, or send it in for an expensive repair job. Now I have the protective covers on these, but the problems of the protective covers kind of create some, say, lens flares, for lack of a better word, times. So supposedly they have replaceable lenses, so you get 2 out of 3 replaceable lenses, better low light, but you still don't get the 1-inch sensor. But you're already 8K. Which of course, by the time you reframe it, you're down to 4K or below, whatever. So anyhow, I don't want to go, maybe I'll do an independent 360 video. I don't want to bog the show down with 360 talk. Any questions? You see any questions in chat? Or you guys have any questions about the, I mean, they expect it to be about $50 more than the old one. So I think, I think it's going to be somewhere around $450. I think this one's $400, but I'm not exactly sure on that pricing. But
Ron,
it's not going to be much more than the old one.
I'm smart enough to never say never, but so far I have not felt the need for a 360 camera for some of the reasons that you describe. Man, I'm telling you what, I am bogged down in the amount of space that video takes up in my system right now. And so you start doing that and those extra editing steps. It's just not for me. I absolutely understand why people like them and use them. And maybe someday I'll feel the need to do that, but not now.
Yeah, I mean, some people like Alex Escoro gets very, elaborate
Creative
shots for those things. But just for a layperson, the beauty of it, you could set it up on a tripod around where you're doing some kind of a drone flight or something, and you would never have to worry about re-aiming it. You could move around anywhere in the shot, and you could reframe yourself as the center of the action at all times. You never have shot with a 360 camera. And also these newer ones, you can actually put them in mode where they act just like a regular action camera, where you don't have to reframe anything either. So it could be a regular action camera, it could be a 360 camera, it could take photos, it can kind of do a little bit of everything, but not as good as a dedicated camera can do for those functions.
Right. So I'm seeing Josh in the chat is saying that it's convenient. He does a lot of professional work, and he was doing some at a racetrack, and he said, I get his point. He doesn't miss the action when he uses a 360.
Right. He doesn't have to worry about not having the thing aimed at the car, the particular car or whatever. It has a use case scenario. And if it was maybe easy to reframe the video, I mean, I think it would go more widespread because, again, you don't have to worry about pointing so much. You don't have to worry about setting your shot up as much. But
hey, Ron, I'm going to be right back. I'm going to check out for a second. I'll be back.
Okay, we're going to get off.
Those ever go on sale, Ron?
Tomorrow it's at 9 a.m. It should be released.
No, I'm talking about like the X4 in the past year since it's been out. Has gone on sale ever? Or is that?
I'm sure in the near future will price drop because of the new one, but no, it's the 360 is not real big at doing big price cuts. Maybe around the holidays you'll see like maybe a 20%, 10-20% price cut, but you won't see a deep discount on these Insta360 products until their end of life. Okay. So yeah, no deals on these guys. So okay, getting off the 360 here because I know it's not the most popular thing. It's the only thing coming out this week, so I thought I'd mention it here. Let me stop this thing here. That was story one. Now story two is we've had some new leaked photos of the Mavic 4 and some pricing for the batteries. But we haven't heard any changes to the rumored release date of May 13th for the Mavic 4 Pro. But let me get a little graphic up here for the folks here, at home here. I think this is the one I want here. Make it that bigger here if I can. I don't know if I can. There we go. Yeah, this is from our good friend Jasper Ellens, and looks like some maybe boys at DJI sitting around there. They got their iced coffees and drinks there and whatever, and they have a the Mavic 4 Pro there. It looks like they've taken the propellers off of it for some reason. It looks like it has the quick release propellers that we expect on the Mavic series of drones. And look at the size of the gimbal guard, staying by the 3 battery hub. I mean, that thing covers kind of half the drone.
Yeah, the whole darn drone, huh?
That's the size of a mini right there.
Yeah, right. And maybe it weighs 250 grams for all we know.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we've seen these leaked pictures. I mean, this is, again, we've seen so many leaked photos of this drone that, I mean, good leaked pictures, not the blurs. I mean, good pictures that it's almost like no big deal now to see a picture like this anymore, you know. In fact, I think I got one more here to show you here. Let's see here. Present here.
I think there was 2 of those pictures. I don't know.
Let me see if the one I want here. Well, this isn't. That's not the one I want. But let me show you this anyway, since I got it up here. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Maybe that's the best I can do here. Oh, here we go. That's what I wanted to show. Here is the side-by-side spec comparison. This is from. I'll get the guy's name in a second. This is a different guy here. He is the Mavic 4 Pro versus the Mavic 3 Pro. Now the 4 Pro has a 100 megapixel main camera versus a 20 megapixel in the Mavic 3 Pro. So that's quite a jump, John.
It is. I mean, that's intriguing for me. You know, just from the standpoint, that's why I buy a drone is, you know, for the camera specs. So,
and you feel you need more megapixels in your like photos?
I don't know that I need them, but I may want them. You know,
yeah,
I mean, it's definitely not a need. I mean, I'm perfectly fine with what I have, but you know, that is something that would give me, you know, some definite interest in upgrading for sure.
And now the sensor size looks the same 4/3 CMOS Hasselblad, but it looks like you have a not quite as wide of a field of view there. The old Mavic 3 Pro is 24 millimeters, and this is 28 millimeters. Again, this is like a little, I guess you'd call it narrow focus. The same aperture thing. So I know DeMarco, you and I had the plain Mavic 3, but of course the main camera is the same as the Mavic 3 Pro. Do you think you would like a little tighter, shot there, not quite as wide on the?
Yeah, that wouldn't bother me at all. Like what I'm looking at is a zoom specs for it, though. That's nice because like the zoom on the current one is, for me anyway, is not good for taking pictures, just for looking around.
Well, that's on here. The next thing is the tele camera sensor.
Yeah,
they say the tele is a 50 megapixel on the Mavic 4 Pro versus a 12 megapixel on the Mavic 3 Pro. So, that may, make, you could crop in a lot tighter on your pictures coming from that tele with that 50, more detail in there.
Yep.
But you were mostly talking about the video side though, right, DeMarco?
Yeah.
So, now on the tele camera, the sensor, this has a 1/1.5 inch CMOS. The other had a 1/2. So this is a slightly larger sensor on this new one. So that should help you. Here comes Marcus back in. Marcus has returned. Marcus, we're going over the specs of the Mavic 4 Pro versus the Mavic 3. We've got up to the point where we're talking about the tele, the long range tele camera. And well, actually, no, I'm sorry, it's probably the medium tele. It's a larger sensor on the new Mavic 4 Pro, and it has a little bit tighter field of view, 168 versus 166, but who could tell that small of a difference? But it has a larger aperture opening with f2.8 versus a 3.4 on the the current Mavic 3 Pro. So looks like a slight bump on that tele camera.
It does. So that is the long range tele, because I see the medium tele is above like that, and it looks it's the same. So I guess bigger sensor is always better, and a wider aperture is always better. So,
and John just mentioned, or DeMarco, one of you guys just mentioned you want a better performance out of that long range camera. So maybe we'll see that this time around.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because vertical shooting, it says too, huh? I'll be darned.
Well, but going down there now.
I'm getting ahead of you, aren't I?
Yeah. Well, we'll go down one by one because these are interesting. The Mavic 4 Pro has 14 stops of dynamic range versus 12.8 for the Mavic 3 Pro. I believe the Air 3S claimed to have 13 stops of dynamic range. So this is a little bit better than the Air 3S.
You got to help me out there, Ron. I don't even know what that means. I understand.
You need dynamic range on these cameras. You want to help the skies from being overblown. You don't want your highlights being blown out. You don't want your shadows being crushed. So the more dynamic range you have, the better chance of you having both of them be okay in the shot. Not to have
I understand what
a cheap little camera. You're either going to have the ground in focus. I mean, and you're even going to have the shadows right, or you're going to have the highlight rates. You're not going to have both at the same time on a cheap little camera. But the more dynamic range, the more chance you have both of those things being properly.
I understand dynamic range, Ron. I understand what dynamic range is, but what do they mean by steps? That's the part I don't get. What a step of dynamic range? What does that mean?
Yeah, I don't know what the measurement of a step is. I don't know, and that may vary. That may not be a hard and fast thing. That may vary by the camera size sensor. Like on a Micro Four Thirds, that may be a different number than on a full frame or any other type of sensor, 1-inch sensor. So yeah.
The
ISO. Now they say ISO 400 to 1200 versus a Chinese symbol. And the other one, I don't even know. The ISO is not the same on all the cameras. I don't know what's specific to. So and the gimbal, they got we know the gimbal has a larger pitch or whatever on this one. I don't really know what all those numbers mean, but this gimbal looks like it'll be able to go kind of almost all the way down. In fact, it does that trick where it flips all the way around and when you're flying. So in other words, this is probably the most movable gimbal that DJI's ever put out.
Well, we know what a 360 is, and it says 360 roll there. So
there. Oh, thank you. So so that's never been seen before on DJI drone. Vertical shooting, Marcus already pointed out yes versus no. Maximum transmission range. This course is going to have the 04 plus. It seems like the Mavics always get the current one, but the plus on it. So this can go 40 kilometers.
Kilometers, yeah, but that next number down is probably even more important.
The distance, 4K 30 transmission rather than 1080p 60 for the thing. But of course, do you want the resolution or do you want the frame rates more?
Well, of course, that's just on your display. So
yes, exactly.
Yeah. That's fascinating, though, and I suspect that you'll probably have to have a pro controller.
Oh yeah, this probably won't happen on the RC2. Yeah. I believe you'll be right in that. 4G. This claims to have built-in 4G, and the RC Pro 2 has dual 4G versus its external option on the current Mavic 3 Pro. Now in the US, I don't think those 4G things have been approved here yet.
That just answered our question, didn't it? RC Pro 2.
There you go. Battery, of course, I'm not going to read the numbers all, but it's a much bigger battery on the new one. 52 minutes of flight time versus 43 on the Mavic 3 Pro, so you gain 9 minutes of flight time. Charger, this one is a 245 watt versus a 100 watt charger on the Mavic 3 Pro. Sensing system, we wondered about LiDAR. So this claims it does have LiDAR, omnidirectional obstacle avoidance versus not having LiDAR on the old one. The internal storage, this claims the Mavic 4 Pro has 64 gigs of internal storage. The Air 3S had 40, 42, 43, something like that. So that's a little bit of a jump. Go ahead, Marcus.
Well, I just wanted to point out, Ron, for some reason I can't manage the chat, but evidently I'm not signed in correctly.
Okay.
But Jim's Droning has a good comment, as does Mark White, with regard to stops of dynamic range.
Okay.
So as usual,
I got Jim's right here.
Yeah.
Going up one step means increasing light input and going down one step.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jim.
And Mark White, I see he's calling it stops, which Okay, that
Right.
makes
But the
sense.
stops is a common term in photography. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and obviously, if you have a wider aperture, okay, that kind of makes sense. Lets more light in, but yeah.
Right. 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 Okay, we're almost done here. So again, bigger internal storage. It claims the Mavic Pro Fly more for the controller has 512 built-in storage, so that's a big increase for the controller.
That's huge. Yeah.
Yeah, dual remote control. So this is previously only been available on I think some Mavic what do you call it, the big Phantom drone had that, right? But usually it's typically found on something like a an Aspire where you
That
have
was
a
Right.
dual controller. So that means one
that.
person can fly and one person can control the camera.
Yeah.
Of course, we gain a weight 245 grams compared to 958. So that may mean something to the people in Europe that have a lot more restrictions on the weight that we do here in the U.S. So yeah, kind of interesting.
What's that LiDAR going to do for us, Ron?
Well, I do think it'll work pretty much the same as what we're seeing in the Air 3S, or you think it'll be even a better version?
I'm hoping for a little better version. We'll see how well it is able to track, and hopefully we'll get that beacon that we keep reading about with us. That would be a game changer.
And with the LiDAR, Marcus, better version as in what? Like what are you looking for it to do? Because I don't have that, so I don't know.
Well, listen, I got to be honest with you, DeMarco. I haven't tested the Air 3S that much. I do know that you wouldn't be able to do the kind of precision return to home that the Air 3S does without that LiDAR. So if it's even better than that, is it going to be able to get in tighter spaces and find its way through smaller things? But more importantly, for a lot of people, is to be able to track. Just think if you're, doing action sports or something. Well, like Josh is talking about racing. Well, if you could follow a car with that thing, and you're just focused on the camera and the shot you're getting, not having to worry about whether the drone is going to, go sideways into a tree or would be a big deal.
Okay.
Marcus, I want to skip back to something you said about the RC track thing. There was a rumor, I forget whose rumor it was, but that the RC track's dead again. But the features of the RC track will be available in this new RC Pro 2 controller. It'll have the RC tracking features on that controller, but the independent unit's dead again.
Yeah. Okay, so that's a problem. And
Yeah,
the problem with that is that you're not going to carry around a controller like you can a little beacon. So
yeah. I mean, hopefully that's a false rumor.
Yeah, I hope so too, because I was looking forward to that.
I'm skipping around here just because the things are up like this, but let me see if I can. Okay, here's an article here that this is from our good friend Hank Kessler over at DroneXL.co. DHL Express, a global logistics giant, suspended business to consumer BC2 shipments valued over $800 to U.S. individuals starting on April 21st, 2025, citing new U.S. customs regulations to complicate high-value deliveries. And why that's bad news is most of my recent drones from DJI have arrived by DHL. And number two is the Mavic 4 Pro is certainly going to be over that, that $800 price point. So this isn't good news, guys.
That goes into that category. We get the government we deserve.
John, what do you make of this? That DHL is not going to ship things over $800.
Just another wrinkle in the whole saga on, you have your tariffs, you have custom issues. Now you've got, a transportation supplier that, so, I mean, it's welcome to the new world here. I mean, it's just one of those things. I did see, I think it was Zach had mentioned he had purchased, I think the Air 3S and I think the Mini 3 direct from DJI recently, and those came via FedEx. So I don't know if there's a shift from DJI maybe switching back
Carriers.
to FedEx. Yeah. So
Yeah.
who knows? I guess we'll find out here.
I mean, in years past, I've got DJI shipments from FedEx, so that has happened. Not in the near past, but the distant past.
Right. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's just you can't really blame DHL because that's a lot of extra.
Yeah,
extra
they're
work
just
for them.
Yeah.
So,
DeMarco, you work for big corporations. What do you make of this story?
I think it's going to be another cluster. You know what? I mean, people were mad when the what was that? The Mini 3 or 4 years ago came out, and they said they're going to ship it on a certain date, and a month went by. People were mad then. They're really going to be mad at this. It's just going to be a giant mess.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's what I'm worried about. The come May 13th, the release date. Nobody's gonna have any idea what's going on as far as shipping and tariffs and whatever. It's not gonna be a fun day for somebody who has their heart set on getting the Mavic 4 Pro.
Or like people like Al down in Florida, he might not be able to get it at all.
Oh, that guy that works at the customs in Florida, he'll have that thing.
Yeah, he'll be driving.
Al has a much longer drive up to Canada than John Flynn does.
Yeah. Well, of course,
that's right.
You know,
I'm a good swimmer.
Al still does have relatives back in New York, so he does go back to New York once in a while. So he couldn't make the jump up, above Niagara Falls there.
That's true.
So, anyways, if you want to, I don't know if it's any more than I just said the full article here, but there's pop up, but you can check out on Twitter or over on High's site there. So, what else do I have here that we can? The little pop-ups here. Let's see here. Oh, here's did I pull this one up yet? No, here we go. Let's see if I can make that any bigger. A little bit. There is the pricing for the batteries on the for the Mavic 4 Pro. The intelligent flight battery is $180 for this drone. The parallel charging hub is $100. The propellers are $19. The propeller guards are $39. I'm not sure what a propeller guard is. The electronic ND filter is $220. Camera refresh 1 year, $225. 2 years, $365. So, Marcus, do you remember what the price of a Mavic 3 Pro battery is?
I should know that, Ron, but I don't. I could look it up real quick. So,
I don't know how much of a price bump that is, but I don't think it's a huge price bump.
I'm going to tell you here
where that electronic ND filter is actually some kind of a separate attachment, which nobody kind of saw that coming.
$145, Ron.
So we got a $35 price bump here for this new batteries. That doesn't seem too bad, does it?
Yeah, no, not bad.
Especially since the battery is much bigger and has 9 minutes more capacity. So, right. John, what do you think about the price of these?
Well, no, I think that's reasonable. I mean, when you consider you pair that with the larger charger, it's going to charge faster. You're going to be able to charge them all at once. So, you have to pay a little extra for, that extra technology. So I think that's reasonable. So,
DeMarco, what do you think about this?
It's good. It's good. I mean, in the years since the Mavic Pro, the Mavic Pro 2, the Mavic 3 prices are going up, and so have all the specs and everything it does too, though. So I get it. So.
And I think the pricing of this battery is kind of important because I've been thinking, like if I can get this drone and with 52-minute battery life for 52, 53, whatever I just said, I may not get a Flymore combo here. I may just got the single package, order an extra drone. I've got 105, 6 minutes of flight time on 2 batteries. Mm-hmm. So you may only need 2 batteries with this one.
I get your point, Ron, but I'm going to take the other side of that coin. Mm-hmm. And it's just like Mike Wright talked to us about. If we're buying something from DJI, get it while the getting's hot. Yeah. Because we don't know what their future is. That's true. And you may want to get those batteries right away.
Mm-hmm. Good point.
That would be brutal. not to get extra batteries though. But someone who, how many people even still buy just the single battery? I know, Marcus, you do for testing though, but like it's flight times have gone up. People like, you need more than one battery, even me.
Yeah. That's, you make a great point. The Air 3S, well, even back the Air 3, heck, the Mini 4 Pro. How often do I fly all 3 batteries?
Yeah,
it's a completely different equation if you're really doing professional work. But as hobbyists, and I consider myself a hobbyist, even though I have a Part 107. You're spot on, DeMarco.
And speaking of that, Mark, I did go out last week and do some professional work, and I actually did use all 3 batteries.
And I get that. I understand that. That's a whole different kettle of fish.
Let me ask this. I mean, it's been years though, but back when the Mavic Pro came out, or even the Mavic 2, like the flight time on the Mavic Pro was like 20 minutes, maybe. I mean, it's been a long time. So
yeah.
I mean, so then though, it made more sense to get all 3 batteries. So
Waypoint New England saying the Mavic 3 batteries are 209 when it first came out. So
could be.
Good. Thank you for sharing that. Good to know. I got. I'm going to skip this. This is kind of survey stories. We're going to skip the story number 6 here right away. Senate Bill 1249 in the Congress proposes to change how navigable, I can't spit it out, airspace is defined, and would give the first 200 feet above ground level to states and private property owners. The bill is proposed by a U.S. Senator, Mike Lee from Utah, who has a history of proposing bills that would severely limit USA operations. And this is an important bill because I know, like a lot of small towns in New Jersey, like illegally try to limit you from flying like under 400 feet or whatever already. So just think if it kind of got legalized, a lot of small towns would take advantage of that. Marcus, you've been talking about local restrictions for a long time.
Yeah, and where I see this would create a big problem is then how do we know where we can fly and where we can't? Then at that point, obviously, we always we typically go by the apps that are available to us to look whether we're in controlled airspace or not, and then all of a sudden, if you have to worry about local regulations as well. Do you know you're in Timbuktu, little town, and you see a water tower that you want to orbit? How do you know? Do you stop at City Hall when you get to town and say, "Hey, what are the drone rules in this town?" I mean, it's a minefield.
Yeah,
good points. John, your thoughts on a law like this propping up?
I mean, personally, I don't think it will ever pass, but I've said that about other things too. But I think there's just I think there's a few individual politicians out there that are out there proposing these things more for show than actually wanting to change the laws. They don't have an understanding of the laws to begin with, or drones, or anything like that for that matter. So I personally, I don't think it's going to happen, but definitely something we should take a look at and keep an eye on. And I know I'm so lucky here in Michigan because we're a preemption state, and we don't have to worry about in most cases, don't have to worry about individual communities or governments passing their own laws. And so as long as that law in Michigan doesn't change, that law wouldn't impact us here because we have that preemption law. So
we're a preemption state here in New Jersey also, but that doesn't stop these little shore towns from trying to put their own little funky drone laws in, flying in certain airspace. DeMarco, your thoughts on this Mike Lee's bill here to take the first 200 feet, give it to states and towns and so on, property owners?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, like John was saying, like you're just looking for these small towns and somebody looking to do something, someone who's annoyed, someone who's probably never even seen a drone, even been bothered by drones, going to pass them all and something, knowing nothing about it. So we have, I'm sorry, Marty, you gonna say something?
Well, Florida is trying to pass a state law where they can, if you fly over somebody's house, that they can take, they can legally, they don't exactly say shoot your drone out of the sky, but take steps to remove your drone from whatever what they consider their airspace, and they're doing it with a privacy law, which of course every state and I'm sure cities have, and that's what a lot of people forget. They worry about a drone over their house. You're already restricted from spying on people as it is, so your home is already protected. In other words, if somebody is flying a drone right outside your window, you call the police because you're protected. That's called, there's peeping Tom laws in the whole country. So these kind of things are just anti-drone. For some reason, people are just afraid of that eye in the sky, and I don't, they just are, and it's what we're going to deal with, I guess.
Yeah.
I
mean,
can't
not
believe,
that
I can't believe
sorry,
Mike Lee thinks it's going to help him get votes or whatever. I mean, how is this enough subject to even help you as far as getting votes?
Or Ron, not that the local police have nothing else to do. So now they get called about this.
Yeah.
And someone who just flies over someone's house, you're not hovering, but someone calls. So now the police have to say, okay, well, you flew over this guy's house and he didn't like us. We got to take your drone. I mean, it's going to be a mess.
What Josh just said. So he's talking about fireworks and projectiles. The one above you, Ron, there, the next, that is so true. Idaho has fireworks laws here, but they're just ignored. And so people are firing off mortars and all kinds of things. And I literally have burning projectiles landing on top of my house, at that time of the year. And nobody seems to be too concerned about that. So
Right.
Those projectiles aren't spying on them, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to see all this supposed spy footage. You know what I mean? If these drones are doing this spying, let's see some of this spy footage. Show me the spy footage.
Ron, you have people who are in their homes, not like at the pool, and they come out. Hey, you're spying on me, dude. You're in your house.
Right.
What are you talking about?
Yeah. I'm spying on you. I got you can see part of your roof in my video.
So what you have is a reasonable expectation of privacy, and I think in some cases you could argue that if you have a fenced backyard and you're out there sunbathing, whatever, you have a reasonable expectation of privacy. Now, if a drone is 50 foot above your backyard, I agree that's a problem, and you call the police is what you do. Now, if he's up there further, like we know we always are, you can't see anything anyway. So it's not, that is not,
if you're zipping by at 400 feet, what are you really recording with?
That's the point. That's the point that I was trying to make. Thanks, Ron.
Hey,
we actually have a pool, Ron. I was going to say, we actually have a pool here, and there's been time, we have some neighbors that fly drones as well. And there's been times where like I've not been in the pool, but like the kids been in the pool and the drone has flown by, and I'm like, oh, that's so-and-so's drone probably flying by. Well, other neighbors have asked me, hey, I was out in my pool. Did you fly over my? No, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. But like even then, like they were sort of like, hey, who is that? Is that you? I'm like, dude, he flew over you. That's fine. He didn't hover there to watch you.
Right.
I don't do that either. I want to see that. Gross.
So this, I think we kind of all agree this wouldn't be a good law to get passed or whatever. It's not gonna help anybody. It's gonna hurt all kinds. It's gonna hurt drone hobbies, drones that do real estate work. I mean, so whole town
I feel sorry
real estate photo.
Yeah, those real estate guys, man. Can you imagine that? Yeah.
So So anyways, if anybody lives in Utah, make sure to call Mike Lee up or whatever and tell him, Mike, if you want my vote next time around, you better nix this 200 feet drone bill thing. Let left the FAA governor out or whatever. You worry about stuff on the ground.
Ron, hold on a second. John, whatever happened to that? What was the ordinance in Ann Arbor?
They're still, I think they had to file some further information as far as flying over the stadium. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
It's still, both sides have to come back with some more information.
Okay.
I think it was like, they had like a 6-month time period or something. So that should be coming up shortly. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have to get Ryan Laureate back on again when all that gets settled.
Right.
Let him explain it.
Yep.
So
Yep.
yeah, you've got a good man there in Michigan to help you guys fight these crazy drone laws.
He helps all over the country too, really.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. He helps some of the drone groups in New Jersey, right? He's all over
Mhm.
the place, but
Mhm.
yeah.
He's a good man. Very,
Yep.
very well versed in the multitude of different drone issues in the country. So.
And what people don't know, he posts some incredible drone video too on his YouTube channel. I forget his YouTube channel's name is not his name, but
No, I
he
can't
posts some
think of it.
fantastic footage.
Right.
Yeah,
I can't think of it off the top of my head either, but yeah, you're right.
Well, we'll get him on soon. I'll reach out to him. Okay, one more story. We're going to interview John a little bit here. Friend of the channel, Richard. He's in here at SB something. He's in here tonight. He reached out and kind of let a couple of us know that he ordered the Fimi X8 Tele Max drone. That's the one that has a 30x zoom on it. But unfortunately, when he received it recently, it would only take off and hover a few inches off the ground. I hope I'm saying this right. This is all just from his email. Couple inches, couple feet. In other words, it won't get far off the ground. And he did everything. He, updated the firmware, reset everything. He's Rich, a smart guy. He did everything that they would tell you to do. And then he contacted Fimi, and he asked for a return label. And they requested he give them a series of information. You could jump through a bunch of hoops, but they never offered a return label or a refund. So it seems like another round of poor customer assistance for Fimi. And we've heard these stories before, Marcus, haven't we, about Fimi not really taking care of
heard stories, Ron? Heard stories?
Yeah, I've had the
stories.
Fimi Mini 1. I had basically one that wouldn't fly, and Fimi didn't want to hear anything from me on it.
Yeah,
Oh.
I've experienced it too. Yeah, and that's that DJI really they're the ones that really their customer service. They're the ones that'll respond to you. And sadly, a lot of those other brands, obviously Skydio is out of the consumer drone business, but I found them very responsive when they were in the consumer business. Autel has always been kind of hit and miss. Sometimes they're good. Sometimes they ignore you. And of course, they don't have an office in the U.S. anymore. They closed their
They used
office
to be good when they had the office in Seattle.
in Bothell. Well, yeah, Bothell, Washington.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking about 00 Robotics. I've never really had a reason to deal with their customer service, so I can't speak to that. I can tell you companies like Holy Stone, even though a lot of their drones are just, well, they're not what we would want to fly, but they do tend to, if you're not happy, they'll give you your money back. And their deal is they'll just replace it. You have a problem with your drone and they'll just send you another one or give you your money back. And
they do a lot of business on Amazon, so they're kind of held to Amazon's policies.
Yeah, and so I think that for that matter, they're probably okay. But you remember the old Hubson days, Ron? They were ridiculous, and Fimi is the same way. The problem with that Fimi is facing is they really don't have any repair center or anything here in the U.S.
So
and
China.
So you got to send it back to China, and the mail rates to China are way more expensive than the mail rates from China to here. So so the time that I tried to send one back, it was like over $100 to send this drone back. And anyway, it's just a mess. And Richard, what I would say is in your situation, So you paid for that drone, and it's essentially useless to you now. I just go through my credit card company and say, you know what, these guys aren't doing anything, and I need my money back.
I think he's talking about that, but
Yeah.
yeah. John, have you ever messed around with the Fimi drones?
I have not, thanks to the good work of Marcus, Ron, Bill, the drone reviewer.
I want to like them. I want them to be successful, but you know, you got to tell it like it is.
Yeah.
Cool.
And you know, of course, Richard's what Marcus calls a drone enthusiast. He loves to see new drones, new technologies.
Yeah.
So he ordered as quickly as he could from the mothership themselves, Fimi. But again, he's a drone enthusiast. But you know, if you weren't such an enthusiast, if you waited a couple of months, it would eventually become on Amazon. And then if you order it and you got 11, they'd be bound by Amazon's return policy. So you would just send it straight back. And you know, I mean, not in all cases, but a lot of these third party, second tier drones, as Mark calls them, Fimis and so on. Usually if they don't work right out of the box. They're no good. Usually, if you get them and they actually do kind of work kind of decent, you're probably okay. You know, if it's going to be a problem, most of it happens right away on the first flight.
I'm going to disagree with that, but I do get your point, Ron. Often that is the case, but I've had situations where my Fimi X8 SE 2022 model, it'll fly great, and I'll have a pretty good time with it one flight, and then the next flight I'll fly it, and the gimbal will go all wonky and shaky, and I don't know why.
Yeah. But that was from the beginning, though. Like if you flew for a year and didn't do that or whatever, it probably would be good for the next year too.
Well, the problem is I don't trust it now. You know, I don't know whether you're never going to take it out because you don't know whether you're going to have a good flight or a bad flight. So I just don't.
Richard reports PayPal wasn't much help in this case.
Oh no, I'm sorry to hear that.
That's
wow.
interesting.
Oh,
yeah, because usually they're pretty good.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah.
How much are those two? How much are those?
I believe it was between $450 and $500.
Dang.
Wow.
All right, Richard.
So this would be the same. The Tele Max is the same frame as the traditional X8 that Marcus used to own. It's that same body style, the X8 that you
the same shell.
Yeah, it just has that improved camera on it. Oh, they're calling us Ray's calling us the DJI fanboys.
Listen, I admit it. I'm not gonna. I don't.
Guilty is charged. Your Honor. Your Honor, guilty is charged.
Yeah.
I guess we all are.
All I can say is I hope Richard can work this out with Fimi. I wouldn't say I hold up a lot of hope, but I hope he can work something out with him. That he didn't have a big old paperweight.
Hey, Ron, my cousin DeMarco is asking if we talked about DHL, and we
went down that rabbit hole. Yeah. Well, what I'm going to do, Dre, is I'm going to order the sub $800 Mavic 4 Pro, so I don't have to worry about it then. I'll get the one. I'm going to get the version that's only $799, the stripped down model.
That's a Fimi.
Yeah. Tom, he had he's a card carrying fanboy. So I misspelled him the first time, but now he's got it right here.
He fixed it.
So, yeah. But no AI. Yeah. So anyhow, that's all we got in the agenda. So we're going to go right to John Flynn now. Again, we had the pleasure of interviewing John in South Florida, and that video's posted to DroneNation feed. I was going to play here, but I don't have it queued up. But just go watch over there. It's only a couple minutes long or whatever. We're just going to ask him right here. Now, you asked a couple questions down in Florida video, so I'll try to skip those. But you in the interview, you talked about getting into the hobby and so on, and you said you've always flown DJI drones now. But the update now at the meetup. Actually, they planned on doing it the day of the meetup, but it was so windy they couldn't work out in the picnic tables. But Sunday, they built a custom-made FPV drone in the lobby of the Hampton Inn, and they presented to you, didn't they, John?
They sure did. I was blown away. I still am. yeah, they built this little Volador 3.5-inch drone. Joe Fodolio built it with help from Maddie and Scott and Ken Hoffbauer and Johnny. He just donated it to me. He's been trying to get me into FPV now, and so I guess I'm going to have to get into it now that he's given me a drone. So I've been anxiously waiting for some decent weather here in Michigan to take that out. I've been flying the Avata 2 a little bit.
I was going to say, Johnson, you already have all the controllers and goggles you need, right?
I do.
Yeah.
Yep. So I've been on the sim, and I'm kind of tired of being on the sim. I want to do it for real, but I've been out actually DeMarco at that place where we had the first annual Portage meetup. Yeah, so that's my wide open area to try flying a manual with the Avata 2. So I've been doing that a couple of times now, and eventually I'll get the courage up. And I hate to fly this darn thing because I don't want to crash it. It means so much to me. It's like they put a lot of hard work into it, but we'll get it up in the air here hopefully in the next couple months. So, but thanks so much to Johnny and the crew for doing that. I was really it touched me, touched my heart. So thanks, guys.
Well deserved.
I don't know about that.
Before we get too far past it here, Richard commented that Ron, we finally converted him. How long did it take us?
Whoa.
Richard, it took us years.
We're kind of just joking, folks, because Richard owns about every DJI drone we do. So we're kind of halfway joking here. So hey, I got an important question to ask John. Now, John, a lot of people, when they get into this FPV, I mean, like, flying acro manual, they get hardcore FPV. Some of the guys in the community, they kind of put their camera drones away and they switch totally over to flying acro. Do you see yourself giving up on your camera drones and going full time into this acro type flying?
No.
Oh, never. That's a promise?
Absolutely.
We're gonna hold you to it.
I get too much. I mean, I fly just for the fun of flying. I mean, probably 90% of my flight time is just me out flying, just to be outside and flying and just for the joy of it, not for going out to with any intention of creating content or anything like that. So now, will that go down a little bit because I'm going to FPV? Sure, it might, but I don't ever see a situation where I'm done with camera drones. I'm going into FPV. So
I was worried we were going to see all your camera drones on Facebook Marketplace or whatever.
No, never. Don't say that too loud. My wife might hear me and she'll say, "Hey, why don't you sell some of those?" But no, I could never do that. I love it too much.
You go to the lake a lot, John, don't you?
I do. I love Lake Michigan. What's that?
We're at which town do you go to?
South Haven is probably the closest. It's about not less than an hour away. So, but yeah, that's in St. Joe and up to Holland, and I hope to do more. There's so many lighthouses in Michigan that I want to fly. I mean, we have more lighthouses than any state in the country. So, got my work cut out for me. But
what's your favorite spot to fly in your area in Michigan?
Gosh, I mean, I love South Haven just because it changes. I mean, the weather changes. I mean, from winter to summer and in between. It's different every time that I fly, and it's just it's fairly close by. But I do love flying any place along Lake Michigan is nice.
Is that where Big Red is?
Big Red is in Holland.
Okay.
Which is just up the coast a little bit, but I do. I mean, I have a place actually that's 10 minutes away, a land preserve, El Sabo. I don't know if you are familiar. Remember that when you were here, DeMarco, but that's just a nice natural area just to go and fly. Like I said, just to go and fly for the fun of flying, not necessarily to make make content or anything like that. But I just love flying there. It's quick. And,
He's talking to his kids.
Yeah, I was talking.
yeah, that's
Trying
fine.
to
Hey, just to interrupt just for a second, I think John saw it too. Hot Rod Daytona's in the chat now, and he's saying, John, I have a fast drone you could fly. Hot Rod had a this kind of rocket drone that there, but he's even perfected. He put a video up just like today or yesterday where he has it even flying better now, whatever.
Yep.
I mean, Marcus, I saw fly overhead. It was like the fastest thing I've ever seen in the air. I mean, unmanned aircraft anyway.
It was scary fast, and he wasn't even at full speed. So yeah.
Yeah, he was only half throttle, and he was going like 99 miles per hour. But I think in his new video, he says he can actually land it now. Unfortunately, he had to crash land it and broke the frame. I mean, DeMarco, you've never seen anything like this. I mean, even the noise. I mean, Marcus, didn't it almost sound like a full motorcycle was going over?
Oh my God! Yeah, the noise was wild. Yeah.
Who was flying
pretty
again?
cool.
Who was flying? Hot Rod?
Yeah.
Hot Rod Daytona. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
John, do you ever see yourself flying something like that, FPV?
I would fly rods, but I wouldn't fly. No. I would never buy one and fly it. No. But I see Rod said I could fly it, so I may have to take him up on that the next meetup. I mean, I could probably land it as well as he did at Dolman Park, or maybe even a little worse. But no, that would be. I mean, just to see the footage on his latest video, how fast that was moving. I mean, you got to have some good reflexes to fly that, and I'm not sure I'd necessarily be up to that challenge. But
you probably don't want to come right off the simulator to fly in that thing, right?
No, that would be totally different for sure. Yep. So.
Hey, if anybody has any questions for John in the chat, throw them in, and I'll make sure we get them highlighted and answered here, folks. So, DeMarco, do you have any questions for John?
No, I just asked him. For
you got them.
I mean, for people who don't know, John lives in West Michigan, not that far from the lake.
Is that anywhere near where Shelly grew up?
No. She went to college there, and then we actually lived there for 3 years when we got married.
Okay.
But like that part of the country where the lake is at, and then the bordering towns leading north in Michigan, it is beautiful up there. I mean, like beautiful.
Yeah.
Especially in the summertime too. The summertime, winter's a little rough for me, but
the fall is
summertime. There are summer towns like we used to go up to Saugatuck a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I've flown there before too. That's kind of in between South Haven and Holland. But for me, the in Michigan, the best time to fly is the fall, just because the weather's good and we get the incredible colors. So I'm hoping to make a trek to the UP, as they say, the Upper Peninsula, and check out some of the kind of the far western.
Yeah, you definitely get some great fall colors, much better than I see up in that.
Oh yeah, it was beautiful.
Yeah. It's just, I mean, really, my videos don't do it justice. To see it in person and just look out on a vista and you just see it as far as your eyes can see. It's just, I mean, you can't capture it adequately on video or
Hey John, do you see who's in the chat here? We got a fellow Michigan man there, Joel from Skyfly Network. Joel told me he lives 3 hours north of Detroit.
Yep. He's up north of Gladwin, I think, which is up there quite a ways. He is up there in some beautiful country too. Definitely see some great scenery up there for sure. So, yeah.
PUP, we all P. Bill.
Marcus, you got any questions for John?
I can't think of anything off the hand. We got to all of it in the interview in Florida.
Yeah. I see Bob Old Farts with Drones. He's asking if there's still a lot of ship traffic. Yeah, there is, Bob, but a lot of it is quite a ways offshore. Occasionally you'll have ships come in, but timing it is hard. I guess there's some apps out there where you can actually track the freighters as they come in and out of the harbor. But I know Paul Murray over on the other side of the state in Port Huron, that's quite a heavily trafficked area there. And he gets some fantastic videos of the freighters going up and down between, I guess it's Lake Huron and through the Detroit River there. So that would be an awesome place to go to. So that's on my list of places to see.
You see Captain Ray's comment here? He hates the cold weather, but he loves John's ice covered lighthouse videos. I love those too. When one year you had Big Red was all covered in ice and so on.
Yeah. I tell you, we get those storms, and you know, if it freezes when those big waves hit, you get some amazing burlesque sculptures, if you will, on the lighthouses. And that's the other thing. You know, it's different every time you fly down there because of the wave action, and you know how the waves hit the pier and the lighthouses too. So it's cool to see that from the different perspectives from the air, for sure. So.
Hey, Tom Dallinger has a nice comment here. He was there when they presented you with the drone.
No, Colleen was fine with that. She puts up with a lot of my shenanigans, and she comes with me a lot when we fly.
She got to be your, what do you call, your visual observer when you're flying that TV drone.
She is, yeah, that's the truth. But no, she puts up with it's my one vice. I can't do anything else. So, you know,
there you go.
Don't gamble, don't smoke, don't drink. So
around.
Yeah. Well,
Hot Rod said it's a AOS HS5 is the model that he's flying real fast.
Well, I'm not going to buy one, Rod. I'll just fly yours. Thank you. Thanks anyhow. Since you invited me.
Josh is mentioning Alex's card and his 360, videos and cameras. So I know I've already been talking to Alex about that new X5 tomorrow. So we'll more content that on you when it gets released. I want to thank our good friend Richard, who was super chatted us $10, but Richard may need that $10 to get that drone sent back to China, though.
Thank you, Richard.
So see if we got anything else here.
Hey,
we got
Sammy.
Wait.
Home
run man.
Yeah, it is a home run. 2 home runs.
Yay!
Well, Dad only had one of them on video so far.
No, 2.
Oh, 2 home runs. Sorry.
Where's the video on the second one? Yeah.
It's on YouTube.
I got that one too, but I didn't post it. I don't want to,
Okay, you don't want to, yeah.
Come on. Short to swing. Hurry, wait.
You don't want him getting signed.
You didn't want to see it.
Oh, look at that.
No, he had
I'll
a
take
third
that
home
too.
run already.
Looks like Babe Ruth.
Hot Rod says, Ron, I finally have a drone worthy of my channel name. You do, Hot Rod.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure.
Oh, there's Uncle Bill. You missed Uncle Bill. We sang happy birthday earlier for the show. We gave out cake and ice cream too.
It was good cake.
Yeah.
Cake,
John had the double chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
So, Bill Grace has a question for you, John. He says, "Are you near the old Air Force Base, Selfridge?"
No, that's over on the east side of the state, I believe, and I'm on the southwestern part of the state. So.
Okay, thank you. So tell us a little about your editing process. So when you what do you typically fly? Mavic 3 or I was going to say Mavic 3 Pro, but I know your Mavic 3 Pro never arrived last summer, right?
No, I'm still. It's coming. I think tomorrow.
Okay.
I talked to somebody at Amazon today. Yeah, they assured me that it would be here tomorrow. No, I fly my Mavic 3, the original, the OG Mavic 3 a lot. I have the Air 3, which I fly, and I have my Mini 3 that I fly from time to time. My Air 2S, I love that for pictures. Man, I just can't part with that. And I have my Autel, which I don't fly as much.
Which Autel, John?
The Evo Light Plus.
Oh, Marcus has that one.
Yep.
It's right back there.
I miss not having the integrated screen. I mean, that's
every time I fly, John, it's the same thing. I get out, I go, oh God, I forgot. I got to plug my phone in.
Yeah.
But you do get your adjustable aperture on it, though.
That's true. That's true. I mean, I love the camera on it. It's right up there, almost with the Mavic 3. Doesn't fly as good as DJI, but man, the camera is definitely a keeper.
So tell us about your workflow with the Mavic 3. When you're flying and recording video specifically, do you have it in the 4K? Do you have it at 5.1K to get the extra resolution?
I typically shoot in 4K, Ron.
Okay.
And with the Mavic 3, I just shoot regular color profile too. Just
standard color profile.
Okay. Yep. I don't mess with the D-Log. I do shoot in D-Log with the Air 3. But
okay.
Man, with the Mavic 3, the color science on it.
The color science, the Hasselblad color science.
Yep. It makes it easier. I mean, I'm just such an amateur when it comes to color grading too, that if I can eliminate that whole part of the process, it's so much better. So, but yeah,
I find most of the time you just use the correction LUT for the drone. Just pop that, and after that, it's very little color correction. Sometimes maybe up the shadows or whatever a little bit. But if you pop that correction LUT in, that usually gets you like 95% of the way there or something.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Yep. And you don't have to really know anything about color adding to throw the correction LUT in there.
Right.
Let them worry about the, knowing the right colors on that LUT. Okay, so how about frame rates? You typically, what frame rate do you typically use?
I shoot a lot in 4K 60.
Okay.
Just so I can, slow down the footage if I need to.
Right.
Get better shots, especially, like in the winter if you have waves crashing on the shore.
You slow it down to 30 frames or whatever,
typically,
get that smoother. That's what I do typically a lot also.
Yeah, but generally, a lot of times I'm just 4K 30 will work. Like if I'm with the Mini 3, that's fine. Because I'm just normally just out, not shooting anything that I would shoot or slow the footage down. So.
And what's your editor choice to edit this video?
DaVinci. I use DaVinci. Yep.
You're on a Mac or a PC?
Mac.
Okay.
Yep.
Laptop or desktop?
Laptop. Well, no, I shouldn't say that. I do about 50-50. Mostly, just convenient to get started on the laptop, and then I'll switch over to the desktop.
You edit off like external drive so you can easily move it around, or
Yep.
A fast SSD type drive.
Yep. So,
good. Hey, we got a comment. We got a question from Joel here. He said, "I'd like to fly the Mackinac Bridge, but I'm not sure if it's legal through there. Do you know this Mackinac Bridge?
It is legal to fly. Yep.
Have you flown there?
I have. Yep. Not
you have
crazy far out, but I've flown around it. It is not like critical infrastructure or anything like that. There is there's a lighthouse there that it's a local commission. They call it the Mackinac Island Commission. They have no drone signs there. In fact, I may have taken some pictures by a no drone sign there with my drone and flown there, but it's not. I mean, it's one of those situations in Michigan that the local laws are null and void. Because
let Ryan Laureate know about that sign.
The state preemption law.
Actually, Ryan, it's funny you say that because Ryan kind of was the reason I took those pictures, because he may have taken some pictures at that same sign that I did too. So he was kind of my reason for doing that too. So
Hey, we got Uncle Bill's already promoting the 6th annual Florida drone meetup, April 10th to 12th. John, do you think you'll try to get down again
I sure hope so. Yep. It's one of the highlights of the year. I mean, it's a great, just a great meetup, and just love seeing everybody. And if I didn't fly a drone at all, I'd still
come down.
An absolute blast. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And DeMarco, he'll be back as soon as his kids make the major leagues. He'll be back.
No,
Hey.
I'm not doing that.
We missed you, DeMarco.
You know, yeah. Thank you, though. I missed you guys too. I love watching all the videos and the live streams, and yeah. In fact, I was sitting on the soccer field watching. I wasn't even
Ronayne's live stream.
Yeah, that's great. Bill does that. I mean, that's the main reason I came. I just saw all the fun that everybody was having, and that kind of motivated me to make that trip. So
Ray put here the Lady Stewart fishing boat trip will be back on. It didn't happen this year, but it'll be back the 13th the next year. So they'll be, for all the fishermen, the boat will be going out again. And Rod says here he wants that X5 camera tomorrow. It's the 360.
you got to put it on that rocket drone.
Yeah, and Mark, wait, we'll do it again. We wish Uncle Bill a happy birthday beginning of the show, so we'll do it a second time around here. That young man probably hit his 40th birthday. Steve Jeanette says, Fly'in Flynn Media, do you fly in the UP?
Yes, I've flown there.
What is the UP, John?
That is the
Peninsula.
Yeah, Michigan is two peninsulas. I'm in the lower peninsula, the Mitten, and then the UP is the upper peninsula.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I have flown there, flown at Quamanon Falls and Cut River Bridge and a couple of other locations along, oh gosh, I can't think of near where the Edmund Fitzgerald went down. I can't think of the area there, but it's beautiful country. I mean, it is, you are away from civilization out there. It's definitely a different.
So that's definitely a place to go if you get up to Michigan.
Oh yeah, I would recommend like Tequamanon Falls and the Cut River Bridge, and yeah, for sure.
I can't remember the town that I was in that this past summer. Shelly's side of the family had like a boys trip, so I went for the first time, and we were about 4 hours north of Kalamazoo. I can't remember the town, but John's right. I mean, like you go out there and it's a river and a lot of trees, and don't get lost.
Yeah,
don't get lost. So, yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds like we need a little. It sounds like we need a little upper or just a Michigan drone meetup or a tour or whatever out there, like a little.
That'd be fun in the fall, especially in the fall too.
Yeah.
Go on a weekend, maybe hit a whole bunch of spots or whatever.
We would have a great time, and you'd get some great footage for sure. Yeah.
Josh says maybe this panel could do a better job singing to Bill than we did earlier. Well, Josh, unless John Flynn is the golden voice or whatever, the rest of us probably do the worst job of singing you ever heard. Again, John, unless you carry us here.
I have problems with my is working. My mic's not working.
John can't sing. He's got mic issues up here, and
otherwise,
yeah, I'm from the from the can't carry a tune school of music here. Yeah. DeMarco, you ever do any singing when you were young?
Yes.
Okay, so you are a singer.
Yes. Not only that, I used to be in a dance group. Oh,
really? You had the moves?
Yes. Like when Shelly and I got married, like we all did our little dance, and we were all cramping up. We were dying.
We got any video? We got any video in this, DeMarco?
Yes, there is video. If you look through show's timeline way back, you will find it though. But I'm not gonna help you though. You got to figure it out.
Raps. So, Hot Rod saying his 8S drone spins and props so hard you could actually broke a prop. That's some drone, that's for sure. Alex Escardo posted Hot Rod's rocket drone takeoff view from the ground, more than 180 at 360, but it works. So look for that on Facebook. Thank you,
I like that name, rocket drone.
Well, gentlemen, I'm getting called to dinner, so I'm gonna bid y'all
time,
goodbye.
man.
All right, Marcus.
But thanks for coming on, John.
Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure being on with you guys, an honor. And it's good seeing Ron and you at the meetup. We, like I said, DeMarco, we missed you, but thank you again for having me on. Appreciate it.
Good night, Marcus.
Good night, gentlemen.
Good night.
One more question, John, for you. They talked about the Avata 2. How long have you had the Avata 2 drone?
Shortly after, well, I think I got that when it came out. Right?
Okay, so about a year now.
Yeah, yeah.
So you're a pretty big fan of the Avata 2?
I am. I think it's much quieter than the original Avata.
Yeah.
Easier to get the SD card out. I think my biggest thing with that though was the sound. Because when I would fly, I'd like to just fly around, and I've got a kind of a nice big backyard, but I would hate flying it because it was so noisy. I would wait until somebody was out mowing their lawn to go out and fly it, so I wasn't bothering anybody else.
I do the same thing when the landscapers come out, then I get the drone out.
Right. But the Avata 2 is quite a bit quieter, so I don't have to worry about that as much. And
Steve Janessa's posted he's the lucky man that won the Avata 2 at
the
meetup this year. So do you post a lot of Avata 2 footage? I don't remember seeing much footage on the channel from it.
Not too much. I mean, I think I posted something this winter when I was just flying around out in the cul-de-sac in my neighborhood, just messing around with it. But hopefully I'll have some more here flying it in manual mode before I make the jump to the.
Okay, so you've never flown at anything but the you haven't flown the Avata 2 in manual yet.
I have a couple times.
Okay.
Yep. I flew really a lot on Saturday, kind of for the first time. I flew 3 batteries in manual mode. So, but the wind has been my big issue. It's just been very, very windy. The Avata 2 does not like the wind.
Yeah, not as good as the camera drones. Hot Rod's got a comment for you, a question for you, John. Have you many cover bridges to fly in your area?
I just have. I just did one actually this last spring, I think. That's just south of here. It's actually in Centerville, Michigan. It's the largest covered bridge in Michigan. There aren't a whole lot in my general area, but that one's about an hour away. So.
Now, I don't know if hot rod means you're flying over them or through them. Of course, you'd have to use an FPV drone to fly through them, right?
Yeah. I have not flown through any. This bridge in particular, it's kind of busy. There's a lot of traffic that goes through it, so you'd have to really get the timing right to do that. Yeah, and it's pretty long too. Like I said, it's the longest one in the States. So.
Wow, whole United States, huh? Wow.
No, in the state of Michigan.
Michigan.
Yeah.
Bob Dempsey's got a new business idea. He said, "Old fart drone tours. Any investors?" Well, I could probably throw in a 20.
Yeah.
$20, not $20K.
Do you take those Las Vegas meetup
coins?
Chips?
Yeah.
I have a couple of those, I think. Let me see here. Yeah, I got a couple. There you go.
Joel's saying there's a lot of beautiful places to fly in northern Michigan. Now, would Joel be near that upper peninsula you talked about?
Yeah, I think he'd be, maybe an hour south of the bridge that separates, or that is between the UP and the lower peninsula. So, yep. He's in a beautiful area. Just in the fall, like I said, when those maple trees turn, it just is incredible. The foliage, the colors that he has in that area are beautiful. So.
All right, I think we're caught up with. And Josh says he has 5 covered bridges in the county I live in. I'm from Pennsylvania also, and we had covered bridges in my county and next county over. Not anything as long as you described, but we had them. There's still one right near my hometown where I grew up in Oster. My father and I went out there a couple of years ago. I didn't fly through it. I flew. No, I'm not even sure I flew that day. It was kind of windy. There's a bunch of wires there. I think we drove through it. And I held the GoPro out of the car. Does that count? That's FPV, right?
That's what I did too. Or actually, my wife did that. We drove through it, and she had the camera. But maybe someday when I'm really brave and it's not busy, I'll fly a drone through there. We'll see.
There you go. Bet Rail Productions says I stuck flying the canyons of Detroit.
Yeah, and the Gordie Howe Bridge that is.
Gordie Howe's own bridge.
Yeah. Well, it isn't open yet, I don't think. But Gary
Hey,
needs to get out there and do a progress flight. Let us know how they're doing.
You want an old fart moment here, John? I actually saw Gordie Howe play when I was a kid. I mean, not in person, but on TV. I actually saw him play.
He played for a lot of years too.
Or remember, I didn't see him in his NHL, but remember when the World Hockey League, he came back and played in the mid-'70s. So I saw him play that second time around. But I'm old enough to have seen Gordie Howe.
He played with his sons, I think. He played so long.
Yep. They all played the same team that 1 year. Yep. So way back. That's the way back days. Yeah.
Yep.
So I think we covered a lot of ground here tonight, fellas, and I think we got some good stories tonight, didn't we, John?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, I think we'll all be happy when the Mavic 4 date comes, and either we're gonna get it here in the U.S. or we're not. And
just a ballpark, John. Do you? I mean, I guess it's a double question. Do you think we'll actually be able to get that drone in the U.S. and do you think it'll arrive without being marked up by tariffs?
That's very good questions. I think we will get it eventually.
But not on the 13th.
I don't think so. No, okay. I don't see that happening. As far as tariffs go, that's anybody's guess. Yeah. I mean, and is it going to be the full boat tariffs, or are they going to eat part of it, or who knows? We'll have to wait and see.
DeMarco, what do you think? Will we see the Mavic 4 Pro when it comes? Say it comes on the 13th. Will we see it anywhere near that date? And if we do, will it be all marked up too high from tariffs?
I don't want to jinx us.
Okay,
but I'm about to anyway. I think it'll come out for the date that they're saying, which is May, whatever. I don't think it won't be an easy rollout. I think some of us will probably get it. Half of us won't. Most of us won't. The tariff, I no comment for the tariff, because if the tariff is on there, I'm out. I'm out big time, especially with the wife right there. I'd have to sell a kid.
I'd have to sell a kidney.
Actually.
I'd have to sell 2 kidneys.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think
that's allowed.
Yeah. I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but I don't think I'm going to be flying the Mavic 4 Pro anytime soon. Because of all these reasons we just spoke about.
Yeah. If the scary part about it, Ron, sorry to hold it, but I was just, if it is, get it now or don't get it. I mean, the prices will be higher then. So you have to order it now and get it within this range here coming up, or like we might not get it at all, or it could be 4 or 5 years.
Bob, I think Bob's saying 6 to 8K for the Mavic 4 Pro.
I'm out, way out.
I'd be out.
Remember, everything will be 6 to 8K with the tariffs.
Yeah, I would.
But I talked to Johnny today, and he said that's nothing for him. He's getting it.
Oh yeah.
That's a drop in the bucket to him.
Yeah,
I mean, he'll buy 2.
Two.
Have a backup.
Yeah, 2.
Yeah.
Josh says the air threats will be going strong. I agree. And Johnny's got a comment here. Will not be available released in the U.S. Just saying.
I think you're right, Johnny.
So yeah. I hope the drones you have now are the drones you like flying, because they may be the ones you're flying for a while.
Which is fine. I mean, listen, I don't need another drone, right? I would like another drone, but like DeMarco said, if it's that kind of money, I'm perfectly happy with what I have.
Yeah. The scary thing though, John, you got about 4, 5, 6 drones. I have 2. So if I lose one, I'm worried about that then, you know.
Come see me.
Oh yeah.
You know,
I'll take that.
I'll give you a DroneNation discount. It'll be fine, Marco. Don't worry. It'll be reasonable. We'll take care of you.
Yeah. Batteries are good on those. I should be all right. So.
Yep.
Yeah. Just don't do any crashing. Yep.
No.
So, I think that's it, folks. I want to thank John so much for coming on, being our special guest, because we did get him committed at the meetup. He verbally committed on camera. So
you guys didn't mess around, man. You hooked me and you reeled me in right away.
Oh yeah, it's hard to get you big time channels on here. Go through your age, just getting through your agents and your people. It's tough. Your managers.
Boy, it's getting deep in here now. It's time to.
Well, that's why we're getting the end of the show here. Yeah. So, but no, thanks for taking the questions and giving us a little bit of your workflow and talk about the drones you like to fly with, and we're all looking forward to seeing you fly that new drone. We'll call it the meetup drone, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm flying that full macro.
Yep. I just hope I don't crash it. At least the first flight.
Well, just don't. You can always delete the video if
we
can
edit that. Yeah. I'll edit it with some of Johnny's stuff, and they'll know the difference. Yeah.
And speaking of Johnny, I think he's got a show come up this week. Doesn't he, DeMarco? I think he's on this week.
So.
Yeah. So don't forget Johnny's show Wednesday night, Fly for Fun. Him and Ray at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and. Don't forget Bill the Drone Reviewer tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and Bill Thomas on Wednesday night, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, and
Ray on Thursday.
Ray's on Thursday, every Thursday. Yep, Ray's on Thursday. Am I missing anything, John?
Well, I don't know. Let me check my guide. No, I think you got it covered there.
Yeah, actually, there's so many shows that we'd be on for another hour if I named them all up. But
That's true.
Yeah. All right, I want to thank everybody in the chat who joined in tonight. Everybody who had questions for John and comments and so on for us. Love you guys. I mean, most of the people in chat, we just met John at the meetup a couple weeks ago, or whatever. So it's not like it's just a random chat. It's almost like all our friends are in here.
That's right.
Some of the best drone flyers in the business were at that meetup or whatever in the chat tonight. You guys are great.
And great people, not just drone flyers, just great people too.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, absolutely.
So again, we'll see you guys back again here next Monday night. I don't know. I don't think we'll have any new drones by then, but we'll be able to talk about that 360 camera. Hey, at least it's something, right? You can pretend to be flying drones with them because you can put them high in the air and look down, so you can fake drone shots with a 360 camera. That counts for something, right? Fake drones.
Just get a big stick, man. Make it work.
Yeah. Who cares if they ban drones? I'll just pretend to be flying a drone with that 360 camera. So, all right. Good night.
All right.
Take care. See you next Monday.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.